loves, how are you? I just wanted to check in today and share what's really been coming to my heart and to my mind. I've been asked to, let other women know how I managed to grow my business and grow my babies, my family at the same time, and have time for myself and not overdo it and work all the hours. And people are always saying, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. And I wanted to share 3 mistakes that I think a lot of people make when it comes to growing their business, and still maintaining time and space and energy to prioritize your own well-being, your own lifestyle, your own family, and whatever is important to you. So that might be raising children. It might be a hobby that you've got. It might be spending time with your partner. It might be time for your creativity. Whatever it is, I think it's really important to understand how not to tie your whole life and identity and energy around your business. There's got to be more to it than that. Otherwise, you're going to completely burn out. So I think it can be really tricky. So I've got 3 small children, and my business has grown really well over the time that I've been having children. I started my business after my second child was born, about 5 years ago now. And my business, it's not like a newborn business itself. I'd describe it more as like in the preschool stage. So it still needs me, it needs my help, it needs guidance, it needs nurturing, it needs constant monitoring and observation to check that everything's okay, and then it's not just gonna go and something's gonna happen. But it also has a bit more independence. It can do more things for itself. It's getting a little bit more self-sufficient, and there's a lot of autonomy and automation in there. That means that I'm not having to completely do everything by myself, replicate doing things from scratch all the time. There's definitely a level of replication and systems and processes and things that are in there, but still I think there's 3 things that really get in people's heads when setting up their business, or when growing their business, or when going through a change in your life. So maybe it's a lifestyle, maybe it's becoming a parent, maybe it's leaving behind a certain way of living and working, and now you want to just live and work in a way that feels more spacious and fulfilling and easeful and cyclical, and just honoring of you as a whole person and not being such a draining entity. So here's my 3 top tips. Okay, so the first thing, if you want to have a business that thrives, that without sapping your soul and your energy and all of your time, then the first thing I would say is don't replicate what you see others doing. In the mainstream, most businesses, I'm not. So, there are people like me out there definitely who are doing something different. But if you look around and you see somebody who you admire as working a particular way, has got a business structured a certain way, is offering certain things, has a certain schedule, has certain pricing, then if you start comparing what people are doing, what they're putting out into the world, what they're doing on social media, what their offers look like, then you are going to get sucked into thinking that you have to do it that way in order to be successful. And that's really not true. And comparison can be the thief of joy. It can also be the thief of your truth. I think it's really important that you realize that when you're starting a business, or if you already have one, that you can actually create your business or restructure it, reshape it to be anything you want it to be. There's no rules, there's no right way or wrong way of doing business. There's no perfect formula that's like the ticket to 6 figures or whatever it is. Everyone's talking about having a 6-figure business at the minute, and you get to really think about what it is that you want, like what matters to you, what's your ideal schedule. How many days would you like to work? What hours would you like to work? What would feel really good to you? And you can actually create something that really honors that and respects that. And you don't have to work all the hours to have a successful business. I only work 3 days a week because I've got small children, and my youngest is at daycare Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and she's home Thursday, Friday. And they're my days with her. And on those days, sometimes when I think, oh gosh, so much to do, if only I had those 2 extra days, imagine just how much I could get done. Imagine how successful things would be if I had those extra days. Then I actually just come back to the fact that I actually don't want to work those days, because it really matters to me that I have time with her for our relationship, but also to really feel grounded in my own energy, and in my own home and in my own body, and to really stop working and have that time out, because that balance, that rest, and that totally different focus, for 4 days, actually, Thursday, Friday, and the weekends, that's what really matters to me. That's what nourishes me. There's so much more to me than my business. And I think that we can all get so sucked into thinking, oh, if I did more, things would be better. And that's just not necessarily true. What does success mean to you? What do you want to do with your life, with your time? What do you want your business to support you to have or to be able to do? That's much more important, because success isn't just income or number of clients. It's the values, how do you want to feel? How do you want to live? What do you want it to support you to do? You want to work to live, not live to work. So, I think the first mistake is thinking that success equals busy, equals income, equals clients, equals, doing things the way that you see other people doing it. And actually, I think that we really need to put boundaries in place around ourselves to hold us in alignment with what's true for us, so that we can do what really works for us. So that expression, stay in your own lane. Don't look at anyone else. Put some blinkers on. Just hold yourself with love and stay focused on what success means to you, because that is going to help you to feel so much more aligned and expansive, and liberated, as well as inspired, and have time for everything else that matters to you. So place boundaries around yourself with love to remind you to stay true to you. And not doing that is definitely a problem. Okay, the second mistake is not working with your body. So me, I'm a menstrual cycle coach. I'm all about listening to your body, hearing what your body needs, your body's deep grounded truth, because your body knows so much more, and your head is just a fraction of your body. And yet, most of us walk around up in our heads, and we get caught thinking about what we should do. Going back to my first point, all these pressures that we have, instead of actually just listening to how we feel, and tuning into what we need, and nourishing and sustaining ourselves, and working with our cyclical energies. And even if you don't have a menstrual cycle, this is not exclusive to having a menstrual cycle, a person, we just need to listen to what we're going through. Maybe it is a transition point, maybe it's not, but all the time our body is communicating to us not just what we need, but also really intuitively speaking to us our truth. Our truth lives in our body, and often not our head, because our head just picks up the signals, the interference around us of what we think we should be doing, these internalized stories, so much that we pick up as young people and in our early working lives, of the way that it should be, rather than being really true to ourselves. So our body can really help us, but also listening to our changing ebbs and flows means that we can really tap into our strengths when they come up in our cycle, rather than like fighting against it. So those times when you just for example, when you've got like, to get down to business, like you've got to focus or plan or nut out some copy or just do some admin, or anything that requires like focus and sharp thinking and decisiveness. Like there is a time in your menstrual cycle, for example, where you're really going to feel that. And if you can allocate these tasks to when you feel that, you're just going to thrive. Like things are going to flow. It's going to be much more easeful and joyful, and successful. Like if you try to do that at another time when you're just feeling like you're dreamy or vague, or even the opposite, like too much energy to be able to sit down and focus, that's going to be really hard for you. There are definitely times of your cycle, and maybe with the moon cycle, maybe if you're perimenopause or menopause, and that's like different again. And we can just listen into when we feel like we've got those capacities within us, and then we can do those parts of our jobs that need doing, and allocate other tasks to when we're going to have a different, more compatible energy as well. Like cyclical working is not just about making the biggest impact and service for your clients by taking the path of least resistance. It's also about sustaining your health and well-being and your passion for your work. And if you abandon your body, you abandon your truth, you override your needs and your capacity, and you're just going to burn out, and then you're no good to anybody. I think that happens all the time with people who are not really, truly embodying a cyclical approach. And the third mistake is not getting support for you to be able to hold this vision. Because when you don't have support, you're going to much more easily crumble and give in to what you think you should be doing and how you think you should be doing that. And support can really help you to maintain and expand your capacity to be able to hold this vision, this way of working, especially because it goes against the grain, as well as to really nurture yourself. And so we don't want to fall back into the hustle trap. When we're breaking out of the mold and doing something else and that's different, and maybe we don't have evidence of people around us who are doing things this way, support can really help us to stay rooted and embodied and boundaried as well. And support can come in different ways. So first of all, supporting yourself. It could be looking after your mindset, doing the energy work, looking after your health, nurturing yourself, just really tuning into your inner world. What's coming up for you so that you can be the best and truest version of yourself in your work and at home. I think that, for example, business and parenting is equally like demanding. They both require you to really tune into your inner landscape of emotions, to look at your reactions, the doubts that you have, your beliefs, your healing your wounds is really important in business as well. And maintaining this strong sense of self and this inner core of resilience and grounded embodiment, it takes a lot of work, and it's a lot more challenging than just doing the job of your business, your work itself, because that's easy to prioritize as to do, and your needs can just fall off the bottom of the list. But actually tending to yourself and this inner work is what's going to make the difference between just going through the motions and really flourishing and being supported by your business as well. So having a coach or a mentor to really support you in this, to help you embody the version of yourself who lives this way and works this way, is essential. They can help you with the energetics and the mindset and the deep awareness of what's coming up for you, including these internalized patriarchal thoughts and beliefs that we have that can really show up as like the people-pleasing good girl, like the inner maiden part of us who's more naive and impressionable, the version of ourselves who emerged into the world and learned what it meant to be you in this world. And often our nervous system We can do things like fawning or freezing or, flight. And so working through some of these behaviors with a coach, and this is what I help a lot of women to do, to feel good and grounded and safe in their bodies, is really important so that you can then express yourself, charge the right price, like stop believing you're not good enough. Like all this internalized BS is where a coach can really help you and hold you through these wobbles to help you stay in alignment with your own vision. I also think that because choosing to break the mold and work in this cycle honoring, body honoring way that might not be like rapid quantum leaping expansion, it might be at a slower, gentler pace that suits your nervous system. It requires like a support group of people who are doing it too, so you're not on your own. It's so much harder doing it on your own. If you've got people around you who are living and breathing and working through the same stuff, and you've got a safe place to land and share, that's really powerful, because then you've got a place to check in and to ask for the help you need and to hear experiences and what's helping, and just to be held really lovingly in that place, I think is so essential, so that you're not there just like fighting the fight all the time, like constantly battling through. When you don't have examples of other people doing it, that can be really, really challenging. And I think it's a mistake to not cultivate or be in or find a space that's supporting you. And then there's support as well, support for your business. And, that can be things like putting in systems and structures and a VA, for example. That can be infrastructure. And this sort of support can come when you're ready to grow, or you might already have it, but like focusing on, getting back some of your time and energy as well, so that you're not having to do everything, so that you can embody the leader and the healer or the coach that you are, and you can be on purpose and intentional and use your energy and your time really, really well. And you can't get to this point until you've got the foundations right, until you've got, this way of being sorted, so that you can really show up in your business and then call in the right support for you. Not, again, the support that you think you should have, the support that's going to help you to do what you need to do. So they're my 3 tips. And I hope that's really helpful for you if you're at this point of like, how did she do it? I don't measure myself against anyone else. Success to me is like a completely different really personalized measure of success, and I don't have the capacity to work all the time, and so I don't, and so I give myself a lot of grace to just go at the pace that I'm going at, and then to think creatively from that place. Well, what's going to support me to do the work that means I can get paid for the work that I do, but not the hours that I input, and that really fulfills me. And I practice all the time cultivating deep-rooted trust in myself, so that I can keep backing myself. I've got all the embodiment tools, rituals, practices, self-coaching to be able to keep myself true to that path and to what matters to me. And so if you'd like some help with this, then of course I'm over here doing this, living this, breathing this, able to support you. And I'd love to invite you into the community that I'm cultivating as well, of women who are also on the same path doing this same thing, where I'll also be sharing the tools and the wisdom and frameworks and embodiment practices and mindset support to help you to stay true to yourself, to your body, to listen to your body's needs, to work through and with your nervous system to help it hold you as you cultivate this life and work that you desire, and that will support you and not the other way around. So Cycle Sorcery is my 4-month group program where we're beginning on the 1st of August. and we're going to journey through the seasons of the cycle to look at the unique ways that these shadows can come up, and nurture them with practices and support, and also where these strengths come up so we can learn to work with them. And then it's about implementing these in our life, and whether that's growing a business for you, whether that's working, whatever stage of life you're at, whether you've got a menstrual cycle or even not, if it's with children, you're a parent or not, whatever's true for you, like really just listening to your body, trusting in yourself, being rooted and grounded in your truth so that you can cultivate what really matters to you and stay in your own lane while we support you. So if you're interested, I'll pop the link. It's in my bio as well, and I would love to support you and welcome you into this beautiful, intimate, magical space of Cycle Sorcery. Thanks so much.